Thank you very much, Sam. Yeah, that's right. We're going into map number 3. But of course, we're guaranteed to have 4 maps today, Des. Can this be the story of Orgless coming back and forcing out map number 5?
Well, if anything like our warm-ups earlier on, then absolutely they can, because that went all the way to 5 maps, and that would be the dream for them, of course, to show that they do have that capability, and we have seen that flash of brilliance. We saw it on the Pollitt on the second point. They can do this. They've just got to, again, it's those small little things that are going wrong for them. People being off by themselves, maybe a slight miscom. The Widowmaker on Hollywood, as cool as it is to watch, it slows the game down a lot because you're basically standing there waiting as a mercy to res the Widowmaker, and if they aren't killing each other, the game is kind of at a standstill. Nothing is really happening. There's a few trades happening here, there, and everywhere, but that's about it. Whereas for Gigantti on their attack, they were just like, right, let's just start steamroll the way through. I expect this on Horizon to go exactly the same way. Gigantti are just going to steamroll through the first point and try and get a quick cap onto that second point as well. Gigantti, coming up against a quad tank comp, even as mentioned by Legday a few seconds ago. If they come up against that, I think for Gigantti they'll be like, well, this is just easy now. This is where we shine. We've got Davin on the Zarya. We've already seen what he's done with that in previous results for these guys. Maybe not opting to go for it just yet, but I think with them, that quad tank is a big thing we need to watch out for.
RCK has been teasing us with the Sombra, with the picks as they've been coming out of the spawn, but it's actually gone long enough where I think he will stay potentially on that Sombra and mix it up from where he's not going to be on Diva anymore and allow Davin to go into the off tank. Well, no, he's debating me again. Come on, man.
Friend.
Give me that Sombra. But no, they're going to run triple tank instead with Nil on the Junkrat to break through what they expect to be some shields coming out from this team.
Yeah, and Davin on that Zarya is a big one to watch out for. Back in the old days, or in the early days, you might say, it was all about the Roadhog on the DPS players. These days, it's all about the Zarya because of that tracking. In this case, they've got the big front line coming through with that triple tank, and we actually saw them run this earlier on with Nil on the Junkrat on the Pile. It worked out great for them. If they can make this work again the same way then, this should be an easy wipe for them on the first point.
Well, yeah, they've got a nice little quasi-dive coming in as well. Visility always going for that Sombra. It's starting to become his main hero in the Contenders so far based on playtime. But Shaxx will be dipping and diving around. They're holding that choke point there, right behind Cloudy. The high ground is for the taking of Orgless, and guess who's on the point already? It's Shaxx from the side. He's going to pull him all the way away from that position. And wrap back around the side. Go and have some fun.
Yeah, Visility was lurking his way around as well. Going to back out to that translocator so he can get himself nice and safe. Again, another one's down, and he's going to go charge it straight back in once again.
Just a little bit too far. Just like me, he does the hover hand. Yeah. Doesn't really actually manage to get anything done. He's going to move on to the point as well. Shaxx still there, uncontested at the moment. He's really just a nuisance at this point. He's like the hummingbird, just peppering away at them, still going low. Now is the time that Orgless are looking to get onto the point and start to get some traction on the progress. Here we go. Shaxx going up behind Nil. Cannot find him as the shield is on. 8 HP, uses the recall. We're still on board with him, but it's Ripper finding Tonic on the first kill. And RCK from the side, he just dived straight into Shaxx and shut him down.
Shaxx's whole aim there was to farm the ult up and get in the back and bring down the Junkrat plus the 2 supports in one go, which would have given Orgless the win. However, not quite to be the case. Could not get it on, but now he has it. I imagine we'll find Gigantti being a bit more cautious and more aware of what he is trying to do.
And now Nil hiding behind the shield. It looks like Gigantti have gone for the more central position. They're going to fall back round onto that choke, depending on where Orgless go with their own movements. But Finzi getting very close to that ultimate, but there's a lot on the side of Gigantti that can be used to negate that if they want to. Mainly the sound barrier from Marsa. He's been sitting on that for a while now. I think this next engagement will force a lot of them out. And here we go.
Yeah, they're going to try and go for their engagement to this one as well. They force their way in onto the point, but still Gigantti push back. As we've seen, they are this cushion. They just let the aggressors come in and then push back. Shaxx in the back line, got that ultimate available, but is not going to find any of the supports. Instead, holds onto that ult and backs away. So not really a great return for Orgless. They lost no members, but they all walk away a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, so disengage coming out, no ultimates used. They're nearly going to get the full clean sweep on Gigantti in terms of having those 6 ults available for the showdown. Orgless working towards that themselves as well. Scaler needs to get that sound barrier, but it's all going to be negated. Here's the thing, they drop the sound barrier Visility. If he gets that EMP, he's going to shut that down straight away.
Yep,
so he's very close to it. They need to do something before that comes live or time that sound barrier very, very carefully and rely on the coalescence instead.
Well, here they go trying to get something with that Riptide. Not going to find anyone just yet. Gets out APZZ. He's going to mix these names up. It's Epps boy. Either way, he's not alive. That's what he is right now. Shaxx still trying to find his way into the backline, but really struggling right now because every time he gets too close, all the members of Gigantti just turn around and are ready to deal with him. He's had this ult for almost a minute and a half and has still not been able to use it.
For Gigantti, you want to talk about sitting on ults? Gigantti, they're the ones who haven't touched them at all. The only one who's used it is Nil at the moment. Were you just looking very confused there, Des?
Yeah, Visility was just there spraying the floor. I don't know if you missed it.
Well, they've got all ults available at the moment. They might be waiting for a respawn. He's gone in for the detected EMP in the middle of them. I think he's looking to make sure he can see everyone there. There's the shields coming out. Where's the EMP being used there? You know, he's used it as he went in there. Oh, that was weird. Didn't see the effect for that. They're going on to the side. They forced it out. Orgless and Hungry. They're taking control of the point. Coalescence to reinforce them all. Nice little hack onto their Graviton Surge to pull them all together. But they're sitting in the trance as Zenyatta. No damage is going to come out onto them now. And now Facility looking on the side with Shax finds Masa. Looking for one more. Can he find it? Shax will shoot down Rapper as well. Papa Rapper the Ripper, and LH Cloudy will go on to the point, still stagnating this one out, but it's Orgless and Hungry taking control.
Orgless looking really good in that fight. It was a bit questionable at the start because they had the pulse bomb come down while the EMP was still online. The best combo would have been get the stick down, pop the EMP, clear the shields out, and then you get your kills, but that didn't happen. So that was a bit of a failed start for them, but either way, they win the fight out in net value purely because they bring down those supports in the back line.
And now it's all about posturing onto point B. 4 minutes on the clock for Orgless. Shax sitting on that pulse bomb, and only a Diva bomb available for Gigantti if they want to try and store this out a little bit further and zone him off with the ultimate itself. They're taking this high ground position and just going to try and look it around. Shax finding LH Cloudy, missing a key tank member for the side of Gigantti. Going to try and take the high ground themselves. And Facility getting damage boosted by the Mercy whenever he can to make sure he's peppering them down as fast as he can. And Davin's going right into the fray with Finzi. Believes he gets the D-Mech there, and he will back off with the rest of his team. Here comes the Diva Bomb thrown to the back line. Will it find anyone? No, not just yet. And Shax so close to one-clipping him off.
Very, very close to getting in there as well, but here comes the Mercy in the backline. Shax, he's been so problematic this map, and in fact, I think he stepped up almost compared to last time, and Sailors, he gets dropped by his counterpart, but of course in the 2v1, that is more likely than not going to happen, and Gigantti will win at this point at the very least for now. They didn't even concede that first point.
No conceding happening today. 3 minutes 10 on the clock for Orgless now. Only 50 seconds of that roughly burned so far. Sitting on the Transcendence available for Epps. Scaler's about to get the Valkyrie as well.
Yeah, that's come up at the perfect time as well because both DPS ults have just come up for Gigantti. They'll be looking to try and get this combo down. We saw what it did at the very end of Hollywood. If they can repeat that again here, this map is theirs for the taking. Now, the real question is just how well can Orgless hold on to this one? How aggressive do Gigantti want to play into them on the defensive side? We've seen what happens when they bite back, but we've also seen it go wrong a few times.
Early Valkyrie coming out to keep things alive. Shax and Epps have found the kills already. Neil's gone down without using that Dragon Blade, but it forces out the resurrection from Masa. Davin's got the D-Mech onto Finzi, and it's only RCK on the point at the moment because they're still not sure if they can commit to this fully. Tonic, he's used that Primal Rage. Here's the Diva Bomb to negate everyone from getting onto the point still, and Tac Visor being used, but they're being thrown around as LH Cloudy. He's going to start smacking them and jumping around on the point to keep them away from the fight. And Neil still on the back line, going to get zapped down by Tonic. Orgless and Hungry, 5 members on the point, and the rest of the Gigantti are going to have to try and reset this fight as they keep going.
Yeah, Orgless looking very hungry for victory, and they're getting incredibly close here as well. Well-managed aggression, forcing out both support ults at the start, and they are winning fights consistently. RCK goes down again. Another true crucial tank on the lineup of Gigantti is no longer in this fight. We're always looking at Cloudy and what he can do, but they're already near the end here, Tridd. It's not far off the end of this match.
Yeah, and Ripper, he's gone on to Zenyatta. He's used that Transcendence to keep everyone alive. There's the Diva Bomb. That'll burn through it regardless if you have it up. Dragon Blade from Neil, slashing onto Ed. Fine Scaler, that's both supports down at the moment. Going to try and go for the D-Mech as well. Won't get it just yet, but the Shurikens on the fadeaway will handle that nicely.
Perfect play from Nil, and the Death spoke about it just a few minutes ago. It doesn't need to be the Davin show today because Nil has been stepping up with some of these Dragon Blades. A little bit of a warm-up on the palm more than anything else. Now that he's into the swing of things, though, he is delivering consistently these key kills. Getting into the back line, dropping the supports down, and I think more than anything else, one of the key reasons is that Orgless are focusing a lot on Davin. They've got to deal with this Tracer who is harassing their back line, which gives a clear path for Nil to charge through, bring down these key members, and that's why Gigantti are consistently winning fights.
Tac Visor Valkyrie available for Orgless. You've got a Valk on the side of Gigantti.
Here it comes.
It's already been kicked off, and they're forcing them into the choke at the moment. Who's that more advantageous for? We'll find out. As Tac Visor could be popped, but he's being forced into the corner at the moment. Tonic, he's keeping the fray going on. There's the spray down. Davin's gone. Looking for more at the moment. There's also Nil with no deflect. He's just going to get peppered down. Cloudy trying to jump away. He's walked straight into the firing line. But guess what? Ripper from the back line with the Orbs of Destruction takes him straight out.
They are so close to completing here. Look how close they have got to that. And purely because of Facility's amazing play. But they have still got to round out the last few members. But all the respawns are starting to come through. Getting onto the point. Davin was holding it down. Cloudy is back on point once again. He is literally the last man standing for this team. They get him off, but more reinforcements are pouring out of the spawn gates.
Yeah, you have a Discord orb and you'll be having drip-fed members coming out from Gigantti. They can just get focused down with the added damage. And here is Orgless finishing the map, 18 seconds left. So regardless of what Gigantti do, we're going to get another go at this.
Unless, of course, Gigantti lose.
I meant that from the positive point of view. Like, it doesn't matter how quickly they cap this round or how quickly they succeed. Assuming they do, we still go to an additional round.
Absolutely. I'm very curious to see how Gigantti choose to play this one out as well. Do they go for that quad tank we've been speaking about? Because we know it's a strength of this team. Tank comps are where they shine. Davin admitted this himself, despite thinking, well, we need to build a comp around me. Let's go for more dive base. Turns out tank is where their strength lies, so why not play towards it? As of yet, Orgless at least are showing the signs of biting and fighting back. That was a brilliant fight because Facility incredibly patient towards the end of that game as well. He very easily could have popped the ult as soon as they got into that narrow corridor and thought, right, this is 3 kills, but it would have all been eaten up by the Winston. Once the Winston was out the way, that's when he brought the visor out, and that's when they cleaned up that fight super easy. And then it was a case of just clearing up the solo members of Gigantti that were rushing back onto the point, and they cleared it out. So good for Orgless to actually complete. I'm really pleased to see that they've managed to pull it together.
Orgless running the triple tank composition as we expected them to. I think Neil's going to end up switching off that Torbjorn, so we won't talk about him for now. No. He's been troubling us with that since game 1. Fair enough, it's his prerogative to do so. But Scalar, Epps, Tonic, Shax, Facility, and Finzi looking like they're committing to the triple tank at the moment. Obviously having Shax just like Gigantti did to kick things off last round.
Orgless's comp is exactly what we've seen out of Gigantti on both maps so far. We've seen them go for this triple tank with the Junkrat in support alongside the Lucio and the Moira. It's just a very de facto go-to comp for most of these teams. Gigantti so far executing it a little better, you would argue, but let's see how they can pull off here. I'm very curious to see if they choose to go for that quad tank we keep on speaking about. In this case, it's going to have to be a healer, of course. Need that to back up that front line. So almost, in fact, it is a mirror match coming out of both sides here.
Gigantti opting to run this on offense as well as defense, something that Orgless didn't want to do themselves. Let's see how it goes. This is literally going to be who can play this composition better. Yes, there are some differences, obviously, attacking and defending, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot of micro matchups between these players.
It's a good high ground being held initially by Orgless. They were going to pull back, though, and mirror match the movements from Gigantti. They're very good at this initial rush at game start.
Very fast rotation coming out from Orgless to match where Gigantti were going, and now they're hiding behind Hydroponics, trying to find that avenue in, but Cloudy still on this Reinhardt. He's going to be the one leading the charge. He's going to hold that shield strong, go straight into the face of Tonic, start swinging it around. He's getting the healing from his supports to keep him all alive. Ripper is absolutely peppering him with that healing, and now you've got Neil from the outside. He's throwing those bombs downtown straight into it. Here comes Coalescence to force it out. That's a little bit early as Ripper will shout down Epps as he brings one of his own, and now they're just crossing the beams. Never do that if you watch Ghostbusters, but it's going to happen right here.
Here they go with the ult as well. Can they catch one else? A nice little side can. They managed to catch out the one, so Tonic will go down. That's the front line gone. We keep on speaking about this duel between the Reinhardts. In this case, Cloudy is the victor.
And now we've only got Facility on the point at the moment for the team. Shax's trying to jump him away with the concussion mine, but still coming up Gigantti at the moment as they've got control of this much earlier than Orgless managed to do so.
Still a bit of a scrap to get there. Took them 1 minute and 15. In fact, they're still having a bit of contest on the go with Finzi lurking around. But Gigantti now find themselves with almost 7 minutes to push onto this second point. Admittedly, very few ults on side. They've got 3 or 4 about to come online, but Orgless currently sat on those 3 with the 4th coming through from Tonic shortly. Will be in a much better position for this defense.
Gigantti need to get a wipe here if they want to fast cap this, because you can't let someone drip feed and stall it out. There's always a chance Orgless can come back into it. They want to close the deal right now. Bear in mind, though, they've got a lot of time to play with here. 6 minutes 20 to try and get this point B, but they're going in hard already. Shax bringing in that tire to maybe stall out a little bit of time. Give Orgless a little bit more to get in position before this assault comes. Still trying to find a way. Detonated, I believe, a little bit too early as we didn't see it come up in the kill feed, so doesn't find anything just yet.
Let's try and burn down Tonic's shield once again to force him back onto the low ground so they can resume their advantageous position on this high ground. Here comes the ult combos, Tridd.
Yeah, and there we go. Neil on the high ground. Hasn't got that attack visor yet, but he's going to burn down Finzi. D-Mech is not very good. Graviton Surge holding him back together. Where's the bomb coming round from the side behind him?
Oh,
and it's all the tank lineups destroying Orgless as Neil will decimate Finzi on the back line as well. There's a stagger they're looking for so they can maintain this push. They got a major burst of Orgless taken out with control of the point. 5 members on. Can someone drip feed it back onto the point? Look at that. Tonic's been stalled out. Gigantti with 6 minutes 11 left in that time bank. They're looking strong as we go on to the next flip of this game.
This is what we spoke about at the start of this map. We were saying for Gigantti it was going to be a hard push first and then try and roll that into a second point victory. That's exactly what happened. They did slow down a little bit, but with all the ultimates on side, especially on Orgless' side, I thought they would have had the advantage there and been able to hold out. But again, that coordination, that front line from Cloudy and the supports is just so difficult to break. That's going to be a big standing point for this team, and I think when a team figures out how to bring down Cloudy and his support front, the front line that they bring together, that's when a team will be able to break apart Gigantti. But right now, Orgless are not finding the way through.
Well, that's what you need for a successful Reinhardt, right? You need those supports, you need that high HP regeneration coming out to make sure that you can keep into it. But we're now going to go into what could be the final... Well, no, we've got to play 2 more rounds regardless of what happens here, because we've leveled out the scores. With 30 seconds, it's, of course, going to be Orgless on that offense first. Will they shake it up from what we've seen in the previous round, or are we going to see the exact same compositions, go at it again, and maybe try and show that, actually, we can play this better than you?
Once again, going for their infamous comp at this point. Gigantti, anything that's got Cloudy on Reinhardt just looks super solid.
But this is my concern about Cloudy, right? He looks phenomenal when he plays Reinhardt.
His Winston was pretty good.
His Winston was pretty
good.
There are going to be maps where he cannot rely solely on Reinhardt. And I hope that Orgless can try and recognize this and maybe force it out with the next map pick if they do unfortunately lose this round.
Absolutely. Well, win or lose, they're going to have to try and think of something special for the 4th map because things are not looking too gravy for them right now. They've got a 5-minute time deficit. And Gigantti, sorry, are looking on fire at the moment. Dezachu on the Pharaoh once again. We saw this earlier on. I think it was on Hollywood first point.
Yep.
Wasn't super impactful. They did manage to break them through in the end, but it all relied on getting the supports in the back line. Pharaoh will never have that opportunity because she doesn't sit in the back line because she dies far too quick.
Well, guess what this triple tank composition is missing? Any kind of verticality or consistent aerial damage. So picking up a Pharaoh here could be quite beneficial. You see it starting to pay dividends for them. Just need to make sure they're peppering more. It's running out the clock a little bit longer than they want to, but here come the directs from Facility. They've cleaned house. That Pharaoh gamble paid off for Orgless.
Absolutely. Gigantti bringing no hit scan to the fight really find themselves in a very rough spot. You'd look maybe to Davin on the Zarya to do something, but it just didn't matter. And however, they've conceded, right, that did not work out, guys. We've got to deal with Facility. We go for a full comp change here, going for the Mercy, going to get the Soldier, going to get Davin back on the Tracer. Their job now is just to hold and waste as much time as they can.
The difference between Orgless and Gigantti's time bank is that Orgless have to go now. They have to stall it out and they cannot let their foot off the gas. Gigantti, they're going to have a little bit more time to play with, but their Facility already finding Ripper. There's a Pulse Bomb available for Shaxx. Facility is close to his barrage. What are they going to combo it with? But look at this. You've got Cloudy on the back line with this Winston killing more time.
Entirely on his own, though. They've had to pull back and deal with him, but that was a very good, solid push from them to begin with. They're going to force their way into the point. We go into overtime, Tridd. This could be huge.
That was a very aggressive...
Ult.
Yeah, only found nil. At the moment, and he's already taken out by Ripper. It was a very aggressive and preemptive ultimate coming out from Epps, I believe, to get them onto the point. They could have used that later in the follow-up fight. Now, Scalar in the air, keeping Finzi alive, but they still keep on going. A lot of members of Gigantti have gone down, but they're starting to drip feed through. Davin, Cloudy, they're the ones keeping it going at the moment as Ripper has just respawned after using that Coalescence. It's starting to drip feed. It's looking bad. Gigantti need to get a foothold in here.
This is looking very patchy for Gigantti. They're basically charging onto the point one by one, and Orgless are more than happy to say thank you very much and bring them down. They're only wasting time. That time bank is empty, but completion looks like a very real possibility for Orgless here.
Very fast push, keeping the momentum going.
They've got it.
Looked a bit confusing for the side of Gigantti, but Orgless keep the dream alive as they complete Horizon Lunar Colony for the 2nd time.
If I'd said to you, Tridd, Orgless and Hungry have got 59 seconds on the clock, 60 seconds if you want to be very kind of accurate with that. Would you say it's fair to say that you did not expect Orgless and Hungry to complete that map with 60 seconds on the clock?
They get an extra 30 seconds boost when they camp
right.
the point, point A.
Call it 2 minutes if you want to be generous then.
No. If I'm honest with you, didn't expect that.
Me neither, and that's why that was a big surprise. I think just Gigantti almost a bit of overconfidence there, bringing nothing to deal with Facility, gave Orgless a free win on that first point. Literally, no one could deal with him. He was up there in the sky. You would argue maybe you send the Diva after him, but they were so busy dealing with Finzi on the Diva himself, charging through the front line and just saying, focus on me, ignore that bird in the sky. I'm your concern right now, and that was a super good push from them. Second point, Orgless had the ult advantage, and I thought, okay, this should be theirs to win. Surely they can push through, because let's not forget, Gigantti changed pretty much the whole lineup when it came to that second point. They had no ult charges available. Orgless got theirs coming up. The Diva Bomb really kicked it off for them, just on zone denial alone. So Gigantti, a little bit of a messy defense. However, they've got 6 minutes to play with. Unless Orgless pull off a miracle here, I expect this one's going Gigantti's way as we go into even more time.
They decided to mix up their tanks a little bit here. Des going for the Orisa Roadhog combination on that point, which we've seen a lot of in the past, and I hope that we'll see it to continue. It might be Orgless' trump card here, unless Gigantti are expecting it and they know how to deal with it.
Gigantti equally could just charge through this comp if they play it out correctly. Let's not forget, they've got Cloudy on the Rhine. He can block a lot of those grabs going for the crucial members. And Davin on the Zarya as well. That always helps. You get grabs, you drop the shield down, you get a nice 340 energy. Thank you very much. They're going to go for the outside. We actually saw this, I think, in Overwatch League yesterday, and it looked incredibly scrappy. But let's see if they can pull it off. In fact, Orgless are going to completely surrender the high ground and pull back to the point.
They kind of have to in this position. They don't want to be fighting up there. They need to get back onto the point, make sure they're in control. They know what happens in Hollywood if they lose control of their position. And now it's gone back to what we had originally expected to see. Man-on-man action. And Finzi, we're on board with him on this Roadhog. He's behind the Orisa shield, looking for that pick. Can he get a hook? But no, it's Cloudy putting up that shield, stopping any damage from coming out. Davin has found Tonic. He's found Shax. Cloudy's got Scalar. RCK taking out Finzi. And guess what? Gigantti still on world record pace.
Absolutely. And I've got to say, Tonic did not work out there on the Orisa. They didn't have enough damage coming through from behind the shield to detract Gigantti. Cloudy did what Cloudy does and just steps forward with that shield up. They had nothing to worry about. Unfortunately, 2,000 is a much greater number than just 900. That Orisa shield was not long for this world, and we've seen what Gigantti can do when there is no shield to stop them. They steamroll through the tank, steamroll through the back line, and now they're steamrolling onto the second point.
With the high ground in their pocket, Neil's going to rain down thunder from above as he takes out Tonic with the help of Cloudy. And now they need to find the remaining members. His Scalar, can he get to safety? Not just yet. Remake comes in, but Cloudy finds Finzi before he can secure it. Davin onto Shax, and Neil still got the high ground. Here comes the Transcendence to keep him alive. That shuts it down as long as Scalar's pocketing him as well. So I think Orgless have managed to stall it out here with some creative use of their support ultimates.
Not bad. They even prevented Gigantti getting towards the first check as well, so they're going to have to do this all over again in just a second. However, let's look at ultimates. Gigantti are the ones in favor right now. Only really the one, and that's the Mercy coming through for Orgless, and even then, you wouldn't really say it's a high-impact defensive ultimate for the most part. You get the res, you get the healing, cool, but Gigantti are very happy to push forward with what they've got and go for the big combo. If they catch out Scalar and Epps here, that's the end of it.
But look what Shax was doing. He was being really sneaky. He's coming up behind him at the moment. Neil was trying to negate the high ground by just shooting him off there, making him go for cover. Masa finds Tonic as he dived on, and they actually pincered Finzi in the corner there. It looks like a pulse bomb's been thrown out. Tactwise there. But he needs to look up in the air. Who's he going for at the moment? Focus on the Mercy. He's looking around everywhere. Just take out Scalar. There you go. No more healing. They're getting control of the point. They're in control at the moment. And Tonic, Finzi, they're alive to try and stall it out. So is Shax. Just find a way to shut him down. But look at Winston. He returns to his perch. He drops back down as and when he needs to do so.
Great play by Neil. This is 2 maps in a row now where he has been the determining factor in closing this one out. Gigantti have now got 4 minutes to get the first mark on the first point. Given how they played so far, they're basically rolling their way through this one. I'd be very surprised if Orgless can hold them off.
Well, with 4 minutes and 4 seconds left to just get 33% of the points, it's not a tall order for someone like Gigantti. It wouldn't even be a tall order for Orgless if they had the same circumstances as well. It's not a difficult task.
Orgless will not be playing that same comp as last time because it did not pay off for them in the slightest. No more Roadhog, no more Orisa. Going back to basics. I like the keeping of the Mercy purely because I think with the Mercy res, you've got to hold this point down for 4 minutes. You can't even back off and take a moment to catch your breath. You have got to fight this tooth and nail to the bitter end, or Gigantti are going to walk away with map 3.
They walk away with map 3, Des. They do walk away with the series. It does shut down the possibility of game 5, but Orgless can still win for a map win, which will come into effect because it's a round-robin format.
Yeah.
When it gets to the end of week 5, your map wins are going to distinguish whether you get that playoff spot or whether you don't.
Absolutely. And for Gigantti being 2-0 up, potentially 3-0 up if they manage to close this out, and I imagine they will, given how well they've played on both attacking rounds so far, they're going to be coming into this and thinking, cool, we've got a gauge now on where Orgless and Hungry are. These are the guys who won Trials. You can then compare them to the other teams they played against in Trials. It's not going to be fully indicative because, for example, in Group B with Sis Hope, those guys have looked very, very fluctuating in terms of their power level, and you'll find that with a lot of the teams as well.
So will Gigantti look to close this out and guarantee themselves a series win in Game 3 for our first match of Overwatch Contenders EU? All they have to do is get that first Chevron and not die like that when Epps finds Nil.
Well, this is why you play the Zen. Nice pickups like that. Good healing. Good, of course, the Discord. Going to be able to force Gigantti way back. That's not an ideal start to this round. It does take the momentum out of their sails, but there is still time. Still 3 minutes 40 on the clock. It feels like a very tall order for Orgless, and I'm concerned that once they get one member get picked off, it's going to turn to a snowball like we've seen repeatedly.
Well, they're using this dive composition still to try and maintain control. They want to be aggressive to try and shut them down as they push through. You can see that Cloudy protecting his team as they get into the small area there. Maybe shuts down the options for Facility to come in with the flank, but he's already got the high ground control, and Neil might be the one who has to go up and match him.
They've got round the back once again. This is how the first round started out for them, and from there they just completely shoved Orgless off the point. The contest is coming through, Tridd. This could be the big fight for them.
Well, here we go. They're still not finding to get any kills just yet. Coalescence being used by Ripper to kick things off, but his Facility finding Master. Cloudy takes down Tonic. Gets control of the point yet again. Up into the skies. Finzi goes to try and trail it down. Dragon Blade is available for Facility. Who's he going to find first? He's gone straight onto Cloudy. He can't dash away from that, my friend. Transcendence keeping the rest of the team alive. Cloudy, Rick, they've gone down, and now he cannot dodge. Ripper! That's the Dragon Blade. Performance issues are known to happen between men sometimes, so he actually fell short just a little bit there as Ripper decimated him with the right-hand click. But Orgless still holding, 2 minutes 30 to go.
Facility's impact there cannot be ignored. Yes, he got dropped by Ripper, but he shut down 2 or 3 members of the enemy team, which eventually won in that clean fight out. Again, if one member can draw all that aggro, chances are the other members of your team, the other 5 will be able to stroll through and clean up the other 2 or 3 who are still lurking around. Really impressive from Orgless. Going back to basics seems to have worked out for them. Going back to what they're comfortable with instead of trying to be smart, is definitely working out in their favor.
But they were all lined up nicely there to get healed up by Moira's healing orb and a little bit of the spray as well. Neil's going to have a Dragon Blade of his own. Can he have the impact that Facility had in the last fight? He's dived up high. He's found a support straight away. Oh my god, Epps was taken out by Davin beforehand. And now he needs to get onto someone else as he's fighting through a sound barrier as well. That's so unfortunate for 4-0. But he might have been able to do enough to keep the team alive. They're all off the point. There comes an Earth Shatter out. It just knocks down Finzi straight into the wall. Uses his self-destruct sequence. Get your shield up. No one's going to die there. And shuts him down before he gets into the neck as well. And guess what? Shax is going to have to dash in, but he dashes straight to an explosion. Team Gigantti take Horizon Lunar Colony.
It took a bit longer than we expected, but they still managed to make it work just through sheer perseverance, and that works out great for them, being 3-0 with the first map win coming through in Contenders. That's what we wanted to see.
Not just the first map win, the first match win, Des.
Match win.
There we go. They've taken...
Similar letters, mate.
Got that one in the scoreboard. So if we actually looked at the Group A standings right now, they'd be sitting nice and high. 3 map wins.
The only ones
to play so far. It's a little bit of a cheat, but hey-ho. They got themselves that first win. That's got to be feeling good for them. And maybe they can use that positive energy to see if they can close it out of 4-0. But they might have just angered the beasts. Because Orgless and Hungry... they're not going to want to go home empty-handed today, and that might light a fire underneath them.
But there's only so many times we can say Orgless have shown potential and are yet to deliver. Again, we saw some potential in that map, but when you could... It's a shame that maps aren't decided by one fight, right? Because in that case, Orgless may have a chance. When there are consistent fights back-to-back, look like they're floundering a little bit. And it feels the ones they're winning where it's more off the back of Gigantti's mistakes rather than off solid play from themselves. Facility on the Pharah, no hit scan to deal with him. That was without a doubt their most decisive fight of the entire match. Aside from that, Gigantti, I would say, have looked generally superior, and Dorado is going to be that final choice. So
Dorado, payload map, as we're going to end things off, we already know we're not going to have that game 5, because as you can see there, winners 3 times in a row, Team Gigantti, no hope of a tiebreaker. So this will be the final map of this series. And like I said, I get what you're saying about Orgless. They have those moments of brilliance with those fights, but they're not as consistent as Gigantti. Maybe they can mix it up. Why not?
A man can dream.
A man can dream.
A team can dream.
We don't want the team to be dreaming. We want them to excel.
Mate, you've got to have dreams to have hope and ambition, right? They're dreaming of taking that map back and saying, you know what, Gigantti, we're here to show that we can still perform, right? They want this 4th map to show that they are here still to contend. That's why it's called Contenders.
I mean, you've got me there with the name. I can't beat that argument, unfortunately.
It's behind us on the wall.
No, it's written on the wall, literally. We're going to jump into that final map, hopefully very shortly. It's going to be Dorado. What do you think we're going to see here from, shall we say, Orgless? We touched on Gigantti a little bit preemptively, but what can Orgless do here, do you think? Do you think Facility's going to stick on that Pharah yet again?
This is going to be a very interesting mind game, because we've seen the Widow come out in Hollywood. Again, Dorado, very much so like Hollywood in terms of the angles that you can get with the Widow, so we might see that getting picked up, especially to deal with Facility, because let's not forget, last time that was exactly how Gigantti got rolled. However, if we see a Pharah get picked up on the other side as well to try and match that out, who knows which way it can go. It's very much so going to be like a counter triangle, you could say. Who's going to pick Widow? Who's going to pick Pharah? Who's going to pick the counter to
Rock, paper, scissors.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm waiting to see here. I'm not sure which side's going to pick up what. You generally say Facility is more inclined towards Pharah than, say, Nil or Davin are. I know, for example, Davin, he has been working on the Pharah, but Tracer is still his go-to, and he showed that today so far by playing it pretty much every single point except for the Zarya once or twice.
Yeah, well, we noticed a lot of these DPS coming into Contenders. They either play Tracer or they play Zarya at the moment. Yeah. So we're going to hopefully see a little bit more of an expansive hero pool as and when the game actually requests it for them. Will we see quad tank from either of these teams? Because this is what people keep saying. Is quad tank the next? Is it the new hotness? People like to stick on that triple tank instead, but some people flex and bend the rules a little bit and go for the quad. The slambulance, shall we say.
Yeah, the slambulance as coined by Legday, absolutely. I mean, we spoke about that being the shadow that's cast over Horizon. It isn't from planet Earth. It is that comp that keeps on stepping up. We didn't see it get picked out there. I don't imagine we see it come through here either.
Well, let's have a look at what's being picked anyway and put ourselves out of our misery. And hopefully no one else's, because it's been some phenomenal Overwatch so far, and we've got plenty more to come, even after this series.
Yeah, the next big one as well. I mean, of course, we're still in this series right now, but Hurricane coming up next against Singularity, that's a big matchup that everyone's looking forward to. And I think this is kind of the day where these big teams can kind of step up and prove themselves somewhat. Gigantti have definitely proved themselves as it stands right now. Okay, I was about to say, what on earth is he doing? But hey, he's throwing himself off, it's all good.
Right, well, let's have a look at the composition coming out from Gigantti anyway. So Davin, Cloudy, Davin, Cloudy, Ripper, Marsa, RCK, and Nil. They're going on to Tracer, Winston, Zenyatta, Mercy, Diva, and Soldier.
Absolutely. So this high ground kind of defense that's going to come through very early on is probably going to be in favor of Gigantti. We see it all the time. And in fact, I think a couple of years ago, I was watching a video of it yesterday. In the World Cup we saw between Finland and Russia, and let's forget, most of these guys actually here, I think Davin was one of the players that played on that team. They went for a complete and utter full hold way towards the spawn gates themselves. Learning from previous lessons because it didn't pay off for them. They're going to play back, play on the high ground. It's very, very usual to see this. I was about to say, Cloudy, generally you would see one of the tanks at least sit on this high ground just outside the gate. That denies anything like a Widowmaker getting into a great position. But Ebbs is going to pick up the Widowmaker here. Actually, no, he's going to change back off. I was going to say, very weird.
What are you doing?
But Facility going to go for that Pharah. We did say we were going to see one of the two. That's what they're going to go for in this map.
But he's holding his corner, and you can see LH Cloudy doing the dance. He's just tippy-tapping around the rockets. He's got the healing to keep him there. He's got no reason to move. So he's going to knock back RCK. Eat up the rockets and Facility. Now he can get the high ground, possibly get Nil here, but he's got the biotic field and the pocket mercy to help him out. Meanwhile, Davin, he's starting to shut him down. Orgless, he's got himself Eps at the moment. Now Shax entering the bubble, gonna find Cloudy. Winston's gonna deal quite well, and RCK immediately comes in with the support and forces him out.
Really, really good start so far for Gigantti, holding back the aggression, but now that Davin has gone down, we've seen it a few times today. Once that spearhead is removed, things start falling apart. Here comes the ult out of Facility. Catches no one as the whole thing gets eaten up. Does drop down Nil. That is your counter, but unfortunately RTK is there to shut you out. Instantly
res by Scalar as well. Want to keep that guy in the fight as Eps finds RCK out of the mech and takes him down with those orbs of destruction. But Ripper, they're not the only Zenyatas that can play around on the field here. Transcendence coming out to keep them all alive, and now Gigantti are running straight through Orgless and shutting down even more of their aggression.
Really good ult, but Shax is going to blink in as well and go, thank you very much for that one, and we'll drop Nil down. Now, let's not forget as well, the respawn times that come through Gigantti will hurt them early on. It's when you start getting in towards the main market square that you kind of found that middle ground where both teams have relatively even spawn durations, or at least spawn times to walk back to the zone itself. So I think for Gigantti right now, aggression was paying off quite nicely for them, but now they're happy to sit back and go, right guys, we've burnt nearly half the time, let them push in a bit, and let's again play that cushion role which we've been doing so well, and then push back with our aggression and wipe them out. That's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, RCK, Davin, and now Cloudy, he wants to get in the action. Can he punch her out of the sky? He's going to keep leaping up. That reduced cooldown, going to do wonders. Tops it off with a little bit of parkour, and lands in the market.
Nice salute to say thank you very much. Still, Facility hasn't really been dealt with too well just yet. He's going pretty low right now, so Nil's got a good angle onto him. But he's doing a very good job of peeking alongside with Scalar, of course, in and out of these windows. Or out of the windows, in and out of behind buildings, I should say. Here he is behind him now. No ult yet available, but it's not too far away. Got to deal with Nil nice and early, but in comes the Diva Bomb as well. Is it going to catch anyone? No, it will not.
The anti-air was strong there with the defense matrix. Forced it down to the bottom, but it wasn't enough to get the kill as the Valkyrie is just running through everyone. The energy flows through them and keeps them alive. Diva Bomb goes to the back. Doesn't find anyone just yet, and now the kill feed is going in favor of Orgless. As you can see, he's sitting on that barrage. Facility wants to get tight.
Nice!
Immediately knocks out Nil and Marsa, but Ripper yet again shuts him down.
No response to that one from Nil. It's very, very hard when a Pharah suddenly appears in front of your face with a flurry of rockets to bring you down. Really, really well played by Facility, and I can see why they were slightly afraid of this Pharah, but now it's Genji time, boy. It's time to push towards this second point.
That was literally the world's most aggressive version of Peekaboo coming out from Facility there. Like, pops around the corner, and surprise, here's a bunch of rockets in your face. But he switched over to that Genji. He's burnt the ultimate. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's try and play a little bit more dive rather than relying on that aerial advantage. He knows eventually Gigantti will adapt to it. Because Nil, he's just about to get that tack visor.
Yep, they've got 4 ults available. Out comes the ult from both Nil and Massa, mind you. Again, in a really good position to get this down. But Diva, Fincy had his number for the most part there. Actually playing retreating here. This is not really the style we've seen from Gigantti where they're getting forced back. They pick up nothing with those 2 ultimates.
Pulse bomb being thrown out.
All
doesn't find anyone at the moment. Fincy's onto Ripper. Shax playing the dangerous game as Nil. Oh, he managed to get the health pack just in time. Is he going to turn it around? No, Nil has none of that. There's massive revives. Ripper gets the Transcendence out. You can't be having him dying while he's holding that in his pocket. And Cloudy shuts down Facility. Now they're fighting right by the statue at the moment. Fincy gets demech'd. Even Mercy cannot heal that. Wait, no, he didn't get demech'd. Whoops.
Nope, used his ult.
I heard the money. I heard the money? Heard the money? Heard the sound. Must be something else.
That's what Gigantti are wearing, because of course for every map you win, you get money. So they're hearing the money, boy. That's all it is.
Yeah, they're hearing the money. It's the money match.
You know, just tuning into their comms for a few seconds there. They're hearing the money. You're hearing the money. Everyone's hearing the money. But one thing that Orgless are hearing is potentially no victory here, because Gigantti are doing a great job of holding this second point.
And now Cloudy, he's got a primal rage of his own. Davin's got that pulse bomb. See if he can mix it up. Shax has actually switched over to that Widowmaker for the time being as well. So let's see what he can do on this. We know him and Nil went head-to-head on Hollywood. but can he get that flank, can he get that angle, and can he get those picks as they're moving into stage 2 of Dorado?
So they've got to mix something up, and this is something a lot of teams do wrong, is they don't change things around, but Facility is trying to fix things around with this ultimate, manages to get Nil, the key member of the team.
And he's fine, nearly so close, got Masa.
Nice.
He will shut him down instead. Look at this, RCK without a mech, he's on the point, and guess who shuts him down? It's Shax, who's been able to take out the mech yet again. So I'm not sure what angle he's holding at the moment, but he's right in front of the church. Can he get those wall hacks and start to lay down suppressive fire from Gigantti and hold the retreat? Ripper, good night!
What a pick onto him as well. One tap headshot, down he goes. That's the kind of stuff you want from Shax, and he is stepping up on this Widow. He's dealing with them super well. I'm kind of surprised.
Again!
Another one! Admittedly there, Nil was pretty low, so he gets the assist for it. It's not a big deal, but what a great performance so far. Again, this is my worry that we saw earlier on today. It resigns both Mercy and the Widow to be at the back. However, Massa with his ult coming out, they are going to try and pile it into this point to hold it as best they can. Gigantti with a stronger front line right now, but they've gone through their defensive ultimates.
I think Mercy was getting fed up with being shot by Shax, so decided she's going to go battle medic with the Valkyrie, get in her face, start popping him down, but Epps finding Davin again on this Zenyatta, and Ripper, he keeps being consistently finding these kills despite being on Zenyatta, so it's a fantastic display from him so far. The Facility so close to that Dragon Blade at the moment. Not really anything to combo it with just yet, but there's nothing defensive on the side of Gigantti to shut him down if he was to use it.
Well, Facility's last ultimate was really impactful, getting into the backline and tearing Gigantti apart from the inside out. We've spoken about kind of surrounding them, letting them engage onto you and then surrounding them and going for the kills that way. Didn't work out so well with Facility last time. In fact, here comes, he's all going to pick down Vasar already. Gets Ripper, that support duo has gone down for Gigantti. This team that we've highlighted so much has not paid off for them, and now Orgless are tearing their way through.
And look at this now, Facility, he's used the Dragon Blade, he sat on the payload, and everyone else from Gigantti has to back off. You can't be doing that and allowing that many people to drop.
It seems the winning formula here for Orgless is to push that payload as best they can without using the ultimate. Once Facility gets that Dragon Blade, it's go time, because he is getting into the backline, and that's the second time he has brought down this duo that we speak so highly of. They don't have this defense coming through that we would expect to see, but admittedly, it's quite hard to stop a Dragon Blade. It does hurt.
It will cut straight through like a hot knife through butter, and then go viral on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah.
And here's Facility, yet again on the high ground. They spotted him out. They've been very careful about him, putting that Discord on, giving him that attention he needs to shut him down. Cloudy's popped that Primal Rage, going to try and stall as much time as possible. 1 minute on the clock left for Orgless to try and shut this down. There goes the Diva Bomb over the top. Doesn't find anyone just yet.
Oh, getting tagged out. He got so close to getting the ult there. I thought off the back of it would get it, but David is the one cleaning up Hal so far. Make that 4 kills coming through for Gigantti. Make that 5 even, as they completely wipe out Orgless and send them back to the spawn room.
There we go, 45 seconds remaining for Orgless. If they're quick, they can probably get 2 pushes, but more than likely, it will just be the final one coming out for them. Regardless if they complete, they got some good distance on them. Dragon Blade, Transcendence, Valkyrie, all available for Orgless, all going to be impactful in this next fight. And Tonic, if he plays his senses right, could also get that Primal Rage as well.
I think Shax was a bit late in switching off the Widowmaker here. Quite effective on point 2, and arguably you might say point 1. Point 3, very much so less so. It's time to swap off there, and he's taken a good minute and a half to do that. That may leave it to be a little too late, but Facility has that ult. We cannot hammer home enough how impactful he has been with that so far. If he gets a good blade off, Orgless might be able to complete.
Well, Scalar's popped that Valkyrie already, getting himself up into the sky. There's no reason to use ultimates yet. Nearly on that back line, takes out Neil with the deflect, actually. Pulse Bomb being used onto Tonic.
There he goes.
There you go, he's found Ripper. He knows to pull the trigger on that one. Transcendence keeping him sustained throughout, and he can't quite get to the back line because there was no resets from the kill. So he hasn't got the blade to kill anyone, but it was great at zoning off Gigantti, keeping him from the fight as Davin goes in. There's the Primal Rage to lock everyone back as a Dragon Blade from Nil. Can't quite get onto Scalar just yet. Final Slash will do it. But is it enough? It is not, as he's still dancing around by himself. Facility, Finzi, Epps, and the boys run it in and complete Dorado.
Orgless again, showing those signs of life. They're showing they can complete maps. They're showing that they can play this well. Gotta say, Facility's Genji looking super impressive. We didn't see much of it earlier on. We spoke a lot about Nil's Genji. But in this map, Facility has been the key. Every time he has had that Dragon Blade, he has made an impact. Arguably there less so, but it was more about the pressure. He didn't secure any kills, but it was about forcing Gigantti back. It was about dividing the team as everyone scattered to try and deal with him. No one really could. And I think here, they need to find a way to deal with him. This is one for teams to watch out for in the future, I think. If they come up against Orgless on Dorado, you've got to have an answer to Facility's Genji because it was incredibly scary. The Pharah as well, first point, I've got to say, played that very well. Yeah,
it's very good to use that. He abused the verticality available, but Nil was the one who was able to actually shut him down with that Soldier eventually, but he didn't do it easy. Well, as easy as we'd like him to be fair.
Absolutely. Well, Facility looking back towards that Pharah once more. Don't blame him. Played incredibly well. Got to say, he's definitely stepping up, and I think that's probably a good storyline to take away from today. We came in saying it was Davin and Shax, the two big star DPS players, the ones to watch out for. Nil has been huge. I'd argue probably even more so than Davin. You can't ignore Davin's impact on this game, but Nil has been the one pulling off the big flashy plays, getting in the backline and wiping out Orgless. Equally for Facility, with those up from the Genji and from the Pharah, he's been the one doing the exact same for his team. So it feels like the Tracer players today have been relatively quiet. We haven't seen any big pulse bombs coming through like we expected from them, but I'm sure both of them are very happy with this.
Well, on the maps that you'd expect, we were running heroes to combo with that pulse bomb and get a little bit of a big bang going. Just never really seemed to sync up with the ultimates. To be honest, they never really had to commit that many into one push. Everyone's been very reserved with the ult charges and the ultimate usage throughout this entire series. I think we've rarely seen fights where more than 3 ultimates have been used because they just haven't had to have been.
Been a bit of a weird series overall, I think, seeing sometimes 6 stack ults coming up together. Lots of Widowmaker duels going through. Davin, maybe feeling it's his time to shine now, going, guys, you know what, you're right. It's my time to step up and get some kills here. He's going to go for the Widowmaker for himself. So a new pick for him. He's going to back off. Never mind.
He's going to back off.
Davin, you excite me too much,
You keep getting debated by the early Widow to see if they can get a quick pick and then they'll change it into something more comfortable. We saw it happen on the previous round with Orgless, but let's focus on what we do know, and that's Davin playing that Tracer.
Absolutely. The usual coming through for him and Shax. Nothing out of the ordinary, you might say. RCK switching over to the, let's say, Rissa for a second, and that would have been a very interesting pick coming through on the attack. But Gigantti, they want to go for the complete here. Again, every single map counts. They do not want to drop one to Orgless when they've been playing this well so far all day. But this is, again, a very deep full hole. I spoke about it last round as well. Orgless pushing very, very far forward because they're happy to take this fight.
Yeah, now Nil, he's isolated. Hasn't got the healing at the moment. He's jumped on to the payload. Gets that Orb of Harmony as well. Still looking to find someone. He's chipping away at Tonic. He might pull the trigger on that one to go in, but there's too many members. Tonic dives forward to push them all back, and Orgless still holding this very aggressive position and keeping Team Gigantti from making much progress.
It's all about Facility again. Gigantti don't really seem to have an answer to this. Nil has played Soldier. We've seen him bring it out a couple of times, but I don't actually think I ever saw his name come up in the kill feed with Facilities on the right-hand side. Look at this free damage coming through. He isn't even taking damage here. Scalar's going quite low, but he's so happy just to rain down from above and make sure that there is no push potential coming through for Gigantti. They need to change.
Pops away for a cheeky resurrection onto Shax, who then goes on to kill Cloudy. Tonic finds Nil. There's a barrage to clean things up as well, and Team Gigantti, they just can't get a foot in Dorado.
No, they've got to deal with it. Honestly, the Pharah is literally the only thing holding them back right now. I want to see a Soldier come out or something else that can say to Facility, you do not get the free reign that you're having so far. Because right now, he's doing whatever he wants. He's not even being dropped by anyone, look. He's just being tickled.
Yeah, having a bit of a tickle, but they're hoping they can make the progress because he's that high up in the air, that high, dodging all the projectiles, just dodging any damage. It does mean he's not close enough to the payload, so he can't contest it to wipe the rest of his team. Now Finzi gets a rocket kill onto Cloudy. RCK does shut down Facility eventually with those rocket boosters. Scalar immediately reses, but can Scalar keep himself alive? He missed the Dragon Blade dive, but he's still got it available. Trying to run through the Transcendence. Shax looking to run away. Hasn't got anything, so a bit of a disappointing blade from Nil, but Gigantti are still keeping this payload in motion.
Yeah, this is a couple of times now today we've seen these Dragon Blades from Nil be pretty unimpactful, going too hard and to try and focus one target, and as soon as they disappear, he's kind of left floundering. I've got to say, Orgless really stepping up on this aggressive round from Gigantti, defending very well and burning that clock down quite quick.
And Davin having to retreat out. He was the last remaining survivor from that push. He managed to escape. I think you saw just Nil coming over the mountain there as well. Going to fall back. They might need to mix it up. I mean, in theory, they don't have to win this match.
Finally.
Right? Oh, they switched it out.
Finally
going on to
Soldier.
I was going to say, in theory, they don't actually have to win this match. They've already won the series, but you always want the fight money. You want the map wins. Let's keep it up. Nil going on to Soldier is what you've been crying out for here, Des. It might be the answer to shut Facility down.
It won't shut him down, I don't think, but it will definitely lessen his impact. Even if you're keeping him behind a building so that he has to jut in and out to fire rockets, it's going to reduce his rate of fire by at least half, I think, because that way he's having to kind of keep safe, keep himself healed up by Scalar. It's going to make it much harder, but Nil is going to be a focus now. Shax, that's going to be what he's been looking for, to try and make sure Facility can still have that impact.
Well, he's been completely dislodged from his position. He's going to have to run under the bridge, and now Facility has that area free, but it's Davin. He's going to run around and try and draw Shax Shax's attention. He's on the back line dealing damage. They're going to be pulling Shax back.
There's
a barrage right up there. Blocked by D.Va. Not enough, but the Rockets will take him out instead as Davin nearly falls to it as well. And now this is the window of opportunity Gigantti need. There's been no resurrection on Facility. Valkyrie's about to come out for scale. I don't know how close he is to the fight at the moment, but no, he's by himself. Gonna pop it to stay alive. Davin misses the one clip that could actually come back to bite them if they're not fast enough on trying to get back onto this payload.
I was worried about Facility's overcommittal there just to bring down Ripper, because losing Facility takes so much pressure off of Gigantti, because all these rockets coming from afar is what has kept them at bay. But now he's going to go to the Genji for what could be the final hold.
Aggressive trance used by Ripper to bring him in. There comes the D.Va bomb, immediately pulls back out. Sound barrier used as well. That's both support elements for Gigantti. They know this is going down to the wire. Where is the pulse bomb? Shax and Epps find the kills. Can he return it? Get an explosive kill here. Open it back up for Gigantti. There's the stick onto the D.Va mech. Heals through it still, so it does nothing as Davin will fall down as well. This looks like Orgless is holding them right here at point A, and they're going to win map 4, Dorado.
Great performance by Orgless, and what a hold. You've got to pin all of that on the whole team playing incredibly well, Facility in particular. That Pharah play, that's what we're riding out for. So Gigantti, they win the series overall, but drop that final crucial map. This is the funny thing, because we always come into the final week of competition, and that's when we start saying, imagine if they hadn't lost that map in week 1. If this comes back to bite them one day, I'll be looking back on this with fond memories. That will be so funny. However,
they surely won't be, though.
They won't be looking back on it with so fond memories, but maybe Orgless will.
Well, Orgless have to. It was a very strong hold. I feel like the earnest on that was less on Orgless, more on Gigantti being slow to adapt to Facility. I know you kept railing on, you may as well go and marry him at this point in Matt. You were talking about him, but that's absolutely fine. All
I can say, man, they weren't trying to counter him. They could have bought anything else to try and deal with him, but they stuck by what they had, and they just had no ideal counter. The Soldier's not a bad pick in this, I don't think. Even burning through things like the shields that they were dropping down would have been great, but instead they opted to stick with what they had. It didn't pay off, and it took them a good 3 minutes to finally realize, all right, guys, time to change.
Well, with that, we are going to go over to our analysts. They're going to break down the entire series now, and that's us for this game. We'll be back later, though.